Hey.
My Lord, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. Sometimes I like
Damn, we
it.
got a dog barking.
Yeah, you know that's the hood, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you know
Go ahead, play the little theme song.
we coming live, man.
All right. Give it up, give it up, give it up.
One time for my boy K-Tron. This my lifelong friend, man. We grew up together, man. My boy is a genius. He been doing this thing on the music scene for a while. DJ Kill Beats, aka K-Tron Music. You know how we doing. We also putting on Reparation Records and many other things like that. You know who I am. It's your boy Stephon Hester, or you can call me Lil James, or a la Hesto on Apple Music, or Hesto, or Lil Hesto, however you know me. You know, people know me in California by Lil James. People know me in Houston by Hester. Some people know me by Stephon. You know, you call me by all three names. I got multiple personalities, one life. You know, but we coming to you live. Katrin, how you feeling, baby?
Feeling good, bro. It's a shit. I'm just live as fuck. We got all this shit set up.
I got this shit set. First and foremost, I want to say big shouts out to my boy Cole Uggen for supplying me with all this wonderful podcasting equipment.
Yeah.
He came through, and I was hollering at him the other day on my boy Christian birthday. His big brother, I grew up with him. I was giving Cole my book, The Way of the Unknown Black Man. We'll touch into that later. I was giving Cole my book. And the things about life, man, it's really like The Alchemist, man. Every time in life where I came around and said something, man, what you're thinking is really what you're becoming. I gave my boy Cole my book, and I told him I was maybe getting into podcasting, and he threw me all the equipment just on GP. He threw me everything we needed. I called my boy Katrin over here. You know, he an audio engineer himself, and we got this thing set up. So big shouts out to Cole. And one more shout out. I want to give a shout out to my grandmother, Gladys Dean. She passed away 2 days ago. My grandmother.
Brother. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, my grandmother, she brought me up over here in Cashman, brought me up over here in Fifth Ward, raised me. Like I said, in The Way of the Unknown Black Man, my book, I speak about my grandmother, you know, and how I came up in these streets over here, and how her lessons guided me through my life. So big shouts out to my grandmother, my big mama, Gladys Dean. And now we shooting on with this first show, man. Katrin, what you really want to talk about, man? I really ain't never shot in front of a microphone. I only freestyle on the mic. So tell me what you thinking,
man,
brother.
Shit, we can talk about whatever. It's the first one, so we can just, you know.
All right, so
fill out the room and see what happened.
So just based on the times of 2023, I feel like we living in a real controversial, real unsettling time right now. I think the news and the propaganda system and social media and society as a whole is caught up in the real life matrix, and I just want to my show is basically based on reality and truth based and knowledge and discipline, leadership, work ethic, culture, values, principles, and morals. Learning how to use self-knowledge and do for self to make one nation under God, in which God is yourself, under your own temple. Let's make one nation out of each and every one of us, and let's extend this nation and create one family here. And man, I can go for days, man.
Yeah.
Let me get my boy Katrin the mic, man. I don't want to be taking over the mic, man.
Yeah, cause what you about to do? You talk about you don't want to be taking over the mic.
I don't want to be taking over the mic, man. I gotta let my boy K-Tron tell the people how you feel.
Salute to you, you know, for going that route and, you know, pushing a positive narrative out into the community, and you know, you just being a young black man. I'm gonna say a young man, you know. I'm gonna say you just being a young man, and you pushing that positivity out into the community, showing everybody, yeah, you ain't gotta be no basketball player, you ain't gotta be no football player, you ain't gotta be a rapper, you know, to promote excellency inside of our community.
I most definitely appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that, man.
So that legacy is gonna live on through the people that read your book. That's why shit, that book is a powerful tool that you have now, because it's like that shit is gonna be forever and ever and ever and ever.
Most definitely.
So
most definitely, man. That's my purpose. The thing about this life game, man, the quicker you figure out what your purpose is and what you want to chase and what you want to attain, what vision you want to come through and assess for yourself, the quicker you'll have success in life. The earlier I learned out my purpose, I learned that I was gonna have to get out here and figure this out. I was gonna have to use the knowledge that I attained, and take this knowledge that I attained and put it towards my goals, put it towards my vision, put it towards my family, put it towards the future generations, and I had to first do that by actions. First do that by actually establishing something, which was my mind first. I established my mind first. Second, I established my body. Third, I established my business. First, I established my investments. Then I established real estate. And last but not least, I formulated my book to give back to the people, so we can all become one nation, just off my perspective, my philosophy. And like I tell everybody when I'm out selling my book, we should all write a book. And
that's the truth.
Yeah, we should all put our perspective out there, because like I tell everybody out there, black people are only 5% of the published authors in the world. So if you ever want to have our perspective and our view to the masses, we're going to need more black authors. White people are 75% total of the published authors. We're only 5%. And out of that 5% of humanity, all humanity, only 1% of the total population of humanity has decided to publish a book. So out of the 1%, we are only 5% of the 1%. So we got to start changing the perspective, changing the narrative, changing the views, even if it's a short story, even if it's a children's story, even if it's a fiction story. We got to get out here and start making a difference and putting our perspective, our art out there in this world. So I appreciate that, brother. Most definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. Like you just showed it's possible, to write a book and get it published, and get it proofread, and just go through the whole 9 yards with getting the product out there. So it definitely encouraged me. I even started like jotting some notes down that I could possibly put into a book at a later date. Just off the strength of reading your book and just seeing the different avenues that I can. It ain't nothing to talk about your life, because shit, your life is like a testimony. Well, your testimony is like a light to somebody else. You never know who you gonna touch. Every reader is not gonna be the same, but as long as you get that one, like you say, you got some people that want to get some mentorship from you now, just from the book.
Definitely.
So
most definitely.
It's just encouraged me to let me go ahead and tell my story too, even if it's just like me making because I teach kids every day. I teach kids how to make music, so
most definitely, which is necessary.
With their notes, I tell them to take notes in class. So at the end of the year, they should have a whole book full of they should have a whole book that could be published. That's why I was letting them know. Y'all can have a whole book by the end of the year if you just take all your notes, combine them, proofread them, and just put them out there.
That's actually how I started my book. I started by taking notes, hand notes, and then transferred my hand notes to my business partner, actually my cousin. He actually made me buy a laptop through the company, through my business, and I finally bought a laptop, and I downloaded Microsoft Word, and I just took my hand notes and transferred them over to Microsoft Word. And when I put the number of words I had put up, I already had like 2,500 to 3,000 words. So I was like, I might as well. This a book, so I could go through and just make this a book,
Bro, you just saying your cousin made you purchase a laptop.
I didn't even have a laptop.
If y'all know Hesto, he would live like a caveman. Like he don't like to spend money. He don't like I'm the type, if I see it's a need for something, I'm gonna go out and get that. But if he's like, man, no, we got everything. He's so far, we got everything we need right here, so ain't no need to be spending no money.
Yeah, man, listen, I know money is a tool.
Money is a tool.
So I'm the type of person. I'm young. I'm 30 years old. But I started my first business at 22. when I was in college, I came up with a way to make money and stack money in West Texas. So when I figured out that I learned all this from self-knowledge. All this is in my book. But I learned all this from self-knowledge, learned about my ancestors, Malcolm X, and all these good things on why the importance of business and investing in land and no debt and all these things. But once I learned that money was a tool and I look around me, everything is based to attack you psychologically. Every TV show, every show you watch on these streaming services is advertisement. Mm-hmm. If you get on social media, it's advertisement. All this is to destroy your resources. Every time they throw these consumerism products at you, it's to take away your resources. So when I look at myself, if you look at me, I'm not ashamed. I got me a 2007 Nissan Maxima. I'm 30 years old. My car has 250,000 miles on it, but I own multiple properties all over Houston. I own my business. I own all of my vehicles. Everything that I ever put out, my book, I pay for that cash. Everything that I ever put out, I put out of pocket. So, like I said, yeah, my cousin forced me to buy a laptop. So, and when I got a laptop, I spent my money on it and I switched my words over. And I looked at my laptop like, this is a tool as well. So, and a lot of people got laptops. And the first thing I did when I got my laptop, I think this was back in like 2020, because my business was booming so much because of COVID. He made me get a laptop in case I needed to start formulating some of the invoices and things like that. And as COVID slowed down, I said, man, I switched my notes over. I used my laptop as a tool. And from there, I wrote my whole book, man. It took me about a year and a half, but I have an extreme case of extremism. I take things to the absolute edge in order to get where I gotta go. But that's what we need.
I mean, a lot of us have those qualities.
Yeah.
But it's only a certain few that'll pull those qualities out and then do something with it,
Well, it's not a lot of us have the qualities. All of us have the qualities. I never look at myself, no matter who you know or who I talk to, I never tell nobody I'm better than anyone else. And like I said, I'm 30 years old. I started my first business at 22. When I started my first business, I had $25,000, but I also didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about being a businessman. I thought $25,000 at the time at 22 was $1 million. And I was just a young man with a vision and thinking that $25,000 was going to be successful in business. But as I just went out and chased my dream met me halfway. So I learned as I went on, and this is in all of us, but excuse me. But like I said, in the society we live in, we are encouraged to be consumers. We are encouraged not to be producers. We are encouraged to be workers. We are encouraged. As soon as we get paid, I got $500, I got $1,000, I got $2,000. Let me go spend my money. If I run out of money, let me go get a credit card. Let me use credit. Malcolm X said, using debt is the first step back into slavery.
Yeah.
My grandfather always preached to me, look, Stephon, you see this, my house and my business and my roads, I don't owe anybody anything. So I always knew that bad debt was the first step back into slavery. It was the first step to being controlled. And even if you look at our entertainers, our athletes, our celebrities, anybody, if you look at the Kyrie Irving situation or anybody that steps up, Colin Kaepernick, anybody that's somebody of status, they use the money thing put it over their head to control them. I'm sure it's a lot of players that want to stand with Kyrie Irving, but they are controlled by money. So even though they have all this money in the world, they are still controlled by the dollar. They are still controlled by dollarism. They are still controlled by consumerism. They don't have the independent mindset to say, nah, I'm not gonna. You have to put in your head, K-Tron, last year before somebody stole my bike, I rode over 700 miles last year on my bike. I got to a point where I wasn't even trying to drive my car anymore. I wanted to be totally self-sufficient. I changed my diet 3 years ago. I stopped eating meat. I don't have any social media. I got off social media because everything starts with, but anyway, I'm gonna go into.
Well, technically, you own social media, but you just not on there as heavy. Like you don't. He if it ain't about his book, he ain't posting.
Well, yeah, I just made a book account. Matter of fact,
and now this podcast gonna get posted, so you about to get on your YouTube.
Most definitely. And oh yeah, I didn't have social media for about 3 years, but I just made a book account for my book. It's my it's about my book. Everything on my social media is called The Way of the Unknown on Instagram. That's the only social media right now. I need to make more. And I'm also going to drop a social media link for this podcast as well. I haven't came up with one yet. We just decided to wing it and shoot it. So it sounds like a good show so far. So
that's all. Yeah, all you gotta do is get started.
Yeah,
and then eventually, eventually this mug gonna be popping, jumping.
So, Katron, so tell me what you think the importance is of children being introduced into the music at an early age. What do you think the importance of music for children and music as for the society and music for us in everyday life? What do you think the importance is of music?
I think music is very important to the way that we live, the way that we act, the way that we're influenced. Like music serves as a vital role in how our society works today. Like even with our kids, you can tell a kid who's been watching Disney Channel versus a kid who's been watching YouTube, and looking at guns and stuff, like looking at guns and people shooting guns or rappers rapping about that. Like, if you probably go to any playlist, right, any hip hop playlist right now, it's probably gonna be some songs on there talking about shooting and this girl is my bitch and I fucked your bitch. And
okay, so what do you think?
I think music is very important to how we raise our kids and how their mentality.
Yeah, what do you think got the music industry like that? Well, it's about fucking this bitch and killing this man and doing this thing right here. Well, why do you think our music is like that?
Because everybody thinks that's the coolest thing to do. That's what. That's the picture that's being painted by these musicians, these artists. They have a pocket full of money and they live this life, this reckless lifestyle, and they promote it. They promote it. Even with I was just watching Wiz Khalifa the other day, and he was getting on everybody's ass on Twitter, or whoever said they stopped smoking weed. Somebody said they stopped smoking weed. And they had a lot of health benefits, but his argument was that that you have to wait at least 5 to 10 years to say you're receiving the benefits of you not smoking weed before you can say anything about that. Like he was getting on everybody's ass talking about, oh, if you only been doing this for 3 months, then you ain't seen no benefits from it yet. Yeah. Me. Appreciate that, my good brother. Me, on the other hand, like I smoke, but I don't. It's very seldom. Like it's not as heavy as it once was, and even now, like I see the benefits of, me not smoking all the fucking time because my mind is a little more clear, and I'm like right now I'm not high. If I was high in this situation, our conversation might be going in a different direction. Yeah. But I feel a little more clear. I have more energy, so I just use it as a come down tool, or if I need to think, because it makes me think a lot. So I use it as a calm down tool, or like I said, if I need to think.
Why would you not always want to think? Just playing devil's advocate. You don't think having your mind in the constant thinking.
It's not that I don't want to think. It's not that I don't want to think, but it's just like how can I put? It's a million different things running through my mind at one time.
But let me tell you something. What I learned about, as K-Tron know, I've been freestyling and things like that, my pretty much my whole life. But when you become a master in this game, if you can sit there with a million different things running through your head at one time, and you can formulate and put it together and make it make sense, when it can be running through your head a million things a second, but when it come out your mouth, when you make it make sense come out your mouth, that's when you're in total control.
So I mean that sounds something like that sounds like an exercise that I could possibly do, because what I do, I just sit there and think. I think even when I write my verses, like my last couple of verses that I've written, I wasn't high. Like I didn't even think about smoking when I was writing those verses, and they were some dope ass verses. But on the contrary, like you're saying, instead of writing, maybe I should just come out and say. And I'm learning my different recording tools, like even just learning with working with you and just getting the shit done. Like just get on the microphone, turn the beat on, get on the microphone, whatever comes out, comes out. Yeah. And that's how, and that's basically how I wrote my last two verses.
That's even the purest art.
Even if I was just mumbling.
Michael Jackson was mumbling. But that's the purest art form.
And then eventually put some words to that shit.
But it ain't even about if society, when the Native Americans did their spiritual teachings, it's not even about if you understand the words. It's more about if you got the feeling. The feeling. James Brown got the feeling. Michael Jackson got the feeling.
That's why they got all them ad-libs and they sampled.
DMX voice got the feeling. Tupac got the feeling. When you listen to Scarface, he got the feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's all about feeling the soul of the artist. And when you give it to him pure, you give it to him raw, you give it to him uncut, you give him that soul. It's all about the soul. When music first started, even in slavery, the master wanted the black man, the black slaves to sing for him because they knew we had that soul, we had that spirit. And that's the same thing in the Harlem Renaissance, the soul, the spirit. So, man.
And it with no vocal processing and with no auto-tune. Like
it was pure.
It was just pure. So, for me, as an artist, it took me a while to even find my voice. Like, just me talking right now, like, it just took me a while to like find my recording voice that I'm gonna do my music with. Yeah. Because like I feel like I don't have a musical voice.
I feel like I don't either. I just feel like you just gotta be you.
Yeah, you just gotta exactly.
Because it's only one you.
It's only one of me.
So nobody else gonna have that voice. So you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta you don't have to find your voice. They gotta find your voice.
They gotta find my shit.
Yeah, because this is me right here. I can't change my voice.
But let's get back to the point on the importance of music.
Okay.
Inside of our, with our youth in the community. Yeah. Like I say, we went on that tangent with Wiz Khalifa smoking weed and shit. I was just saying that he was using his platform to influence everybody who stopped smoking weed or make them feel bad because of the lifestyle that they're choosing to live, which is a lot of rappers, what they do is they promote violence, they promote sex, they promote fucking another nigga bitch. They promote all this shit. Yeah. And that it rolls off to the youth. It's like 50%, maybe over 50% of the shit that you listen to, you're gonna apply it to your life.
Yeah, yeah. Because your mind, it's not just what you eat is a part of your diet.
Anything you consume
is a part of your diet. Anything, if you're not the one that's producing the music and making it, you're a consumer. Mm-hmm. So long as you're consuming something, it's your diet. It's your health diet, mental diet, your listening diet, your attentive diet, your fitness diet, your financial diet. Anything that you consume is going to be a part of your diet. So, with all that being said, what do you think are some changes necessary within this current day of music, and how would those changes in music also make a change in society?
I think with you just asking that question, like I think that we need to find a way to restructure what's mainstream, what we hearing all the time, what's being played on the radio, or what's being included in, like people say, I don't listen to the radio no more, I just listen to fucking Apple Music. Well, what's being included on those playlists on Apple Music, like and it's because it's a lot of real artists that we don't know about. It's a lot of real artists, like they have their they have a great message, but it's just they don't have the marketing tools or whatever it may be for us to hear their music. Yeah. So as far as us changing anything, I just say that we need to find a way to restructure what we consider or how we position mainstream music or underground music in the same way we position mainstream music. So that more positive messages, because mainstream is like all that shit is controlled, fully controlled.
Most definitely. Well, anything mainstream media, mainstream music, mainstream Hollywood, mainstream corporation job, anything in America. I mean, when you look at America as a total, it is a freer country than our eastern neighbors.
Yeah.
It is a more freer country, but let's look about how this country is free. This country is free off the enslavement of my people. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it looks like it's made, like even when America was made, when they signed the Declaration in 1776, it was signed saying all men are created equal. Meanwhile, they had slaves. So, anything...
Had slaves for 100 more years after that shit.
Well, they had slaves until 1965. And still have semi-slaves to this day.
To this day.
If you look at the things that we're talking about, the celebrity, the athlete, the rappers, even the corporate employees, not even corporate employees, anybody that's working a job for a corporation and you're abiding by and you're subduing to their rules and their ideology. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody not to get a job, and you must support and bring money and resources to your family, but you must understand that you are compromising your full capabilities in this life. And if you don't have a vision and come up with a plan to get out of that mainstream type of lifestyle, you just know, if you refer back to W.E.B. Du Bois, especially if you're a black man or woman or just Hispanic or any kind of brown race, Native American, you're living a double consciousness. You can't live a true reality being in this corporate world, being in this mainstream music world, being in this mainstream working world, being anything in America. So America may look like it's the land of the free. It is not the land of the free. America is more so the land of the opportunity.
Yes, opportunity.
It's not a free nation, but it is different from our eastern neighbors because in some countries you don't even have the opportunity to make the most out of your life. In America, it's not free. I have to pay taxes on my property by the 31st. America is not free, but America is a place where you can attain an opportunity. And opportunity has the word unity. And unity is also community. In America, you have a chance to form a community. In America, you have a chance to be in unison. You have a chance to bring unity and opportunity in America. So it's not a free country. You will be punished here. You will perish if you are someone that is an everyday ideological thinking person, an everyday slave, an everyday Joe. If you don't strive to be nothing more, you will suffer in America. You will.
Before you continue, I'm going to cut you off.
No
what
problem.
What do you think is an alternative like to America surviving without any workers in the corporate world? I don't believe everybody is an entrepreneur, you know?
We live in a capitalistic society, so like you got to understand, before this time that we live in 2023, if you go back and look at history, it was always trade and commerce. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we just so wrapped into a 2023 mindset. If everybody within a neighborhood, if somebody across the street was selling goats, if somebody was selling vegetables, if somebody else was had a bookstore, if somebody down the street had a skating rink, if somebody had a gambling shack, if another person owned the gas station, it's still capitalism, but it's just not the 1% of the population controlling everybody. Yeah. It's more so now a monopoly in every industry. Mm-hmm. We live in a capitalist society, but one thing I did say earlier, America is not free. But it is a place where it provides an opportunity. So as long as you get out here and you make the most of the opportunity you have by being here, which is capitalizing and not subduing, not compromising, that's the only solution. And everybody don't have to be an entrepreneur, but it's other avenues you can take as well as investing.
True.
You can take the money back from your job and buy a little bit of the company you work for. You can buy a little bit of your favorite company. If you got an iPhone, you can buy a little bit of Apple. If you like Nike, you can buy a little bit of Nike. If you like Jordan, you can buy a little bit of Jordan. You have to look out for the future generations to come, and you also have to look out for your future self. You must live in the present day, but you must live the present day to maximize the future. And not just the future for you, the future for the planet as a whole, society as a whole, the people in your community, the people in your family, and your kids. You know, so that's the solution. You got to start back, and this is the last of the times, because in the 10, 20 more years, the everyday man is definitely not going to be able to afford property. The prices on real estate, the prices on groceries, they're going to have the everyday man in such a tight squeeze that those opportunities won't be there for him. I mean, they will be there, but it will be very hard to access those things. So we are living in a time right now where action must be taken by any means necessary.
You just gotta be aggressive with,
most definitely
be aggressive with your plan, because shit, they ain't gonna show no mercy to you.
Most definitely.
Like you talking about in 20 years, it's gonna be a lot of scarcity, and you ain't gonna be able to afford a lot of this shit. So it's just one of the things where you gotta be very aggressive with the time that you have right now, with your finances, with your mentality, with your principles that you're teaching to your kids. Even though I ain't got no kids, but just
I don't got no kids either.
Just the principles that you're teaching to your family. Like, my family, they view me as somebody that's out here doing they fucking thing. And, like I was telling them the other day in our group chat, I'm on this healthy, like I've always been on a healthy journey about, even in my bigger days, I've always been about like getting healthy, like getting fit. So
how do you do that?
How do you get healthy, get fit?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta, for one, you gotta work out on a regular.
What else?
For two, you gotta eat right.
For sure. And how do you make sure you do them things?
Huh? You just gotta be consistent.
And how you be consistent?
You gotta be disciplined.
Exactly. You gotta be disciplined.
You gotta be disciplined. So, a lot of us, and I'm learning the discipline again. Like, even with this journey that I'm on right now, like you said, you haven't ate meat since 2018. Like I was like at the beginning of probably January of 2018, I did a fast, and that fast of me not consisted of me not eating meat. Now I'm back at it again. Like today is the 12th, so I'm 7 days clean without eating no meat. Like, and I've been more of on a frugivore diet, meaning I just eat mostly vegetables or fruits and nothing else. At the most that I've had on this diet, that's going against this diet, is I've had rice and beans, and I had some tortilla chips because I was eating chips and dip. I like that as a snack. But
have you got any results from what you've been doing?
For sure. So I want to say, okay, so let me tell you, like, I'm doing a detox right now. I'm doing a full body detox. I really don't have all my supplements that all my herbs. I'm not gonna say supplements, but my herbs, my natural herbs that I'm gonna use to detoxify my body. But so far, like with what I do have, I've managed to lose, I think I was about 218, 219 last Wednesday. I weighed myself today after I worked out, and I'm down to like 210, or I just say 211 because it's 210.9, but I say 211.
Yeah.
So I've managed to lose, 8 pounds within that week. And and that's with me still, like, I'm still drinking beer. Like, I'm trying to shy away from that. I'm pretty sure if I would have left a couple of those beers alone, I probably would have been a little more down in weight. But I'm still drinking like straight liquor. I'm not eating no sugar or anything of that nature. No sugar. What else? No bread. Like, none of that shit. It's strictly like vegetables, fruits, sometimes some tortilla chips, and Sometimes beans and rice with some alcohol, but mostly water. I don't drink nothing else. It's just water. Yeah.
And that's what you got to stay on. And we'll see what I learned about that journey. See, I did the same. And yeah, I know the audience don't know either one of us right now because it's the first recording. But the people that do know me, the people that's tuning in that do know me, you can kill the rest of this.
Nigga, that's a whole fucking. You talking about kill? Oh, I see.
Yeah. But the people that do know me know. I started my journey on I played college basketball at San Jose City College, and I played at University of Texas and of the Permian Basin out in Odessa, Texas. But when I started getting money and started opening businesses up, and I'm not gonna even say getting money, I'm not the one of them type people. When I started my entrepreneurial journey and opening up businesses and trying to get established as a young man, I kind of slipped away from working out like I did when I played college basketball. But during the pandemic in 2020, a couple years before that, I changed my diet and stopped eating meat. I stopped eating pork and beef in 2014 when I learned about the nation. Well, I already had learned about the nation, but how to eat to live and all these things like that. And that's when I decided to get that pig out of my system. And I said I might as well do the same with red meat as well. But 2020, I was up to 232. I'm 6 foot, 232 pounds, and I just didn't look like I was fat to myself. But I would always go back and look at my old pictures like, damn,
I was big as fuck.
Like I'm big, But so I decided I started back working out, lifting weights, working out, doing my thing, and what I learned about being successful is you got to be a person that listens to people. So my young cat Josh Walker, he works for me. He always grew up under me. He worked for my cleaning business. It was my homeboy little cousin back in high school. But my boy Josh, he in super duper shape. He got an 8-pack. He box. He do all that good stuff right now. He 27. He 3 years younger than me. He told me, man, if you really want to get in shape, you got to run your 3 miles every day and don't stop when you run. And at that time, I was just running downtown the hill at Allen Parkway thinking I'm doing my thing, boom, 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 running my hill, lifting weights, but I really wasn't seeing no results. So I started running my 3 miles every day, running my 3 miles, running my 3 miles, running my 3 miles, running my 3 miles. And up to 2023 now today, about 2 years later, 3 years later, I'm at about 197. So I lost about 35 pounds, sticking to my vegetarian diet, not eating meat, really don't really eat cheese and eggs too much, really more so a vegan diet, but I say vegetarian. Stop eating meat, start running every day. Now I'm in the prime of my life, man. So life is all about discipline, man.
Yeah. That's what it come down to.
Life is all about my book, everything that I'm no special person. Most people that listen to this audio gonna be like, who is this guy talking about this, talking about that? Who is this guy? But most people don't. The name of my book is The Way of the Unknown Black Man.
Then what's the principles?
What's the principles of me? Or
no, what it say? Self-knowledge, what else?
Principles of knowledge, discipline, and black power. Knowledge, discipline, and black power. Black power is the knowledge, is the knowledge itself. Black power is the discipline. And the thing about working out, the thing about eating right, thing about losing the weight, thing about investing, thing about starting businesses, thing about being successful in industry, in any industry that you're in right now, no matter what. Like if you want to be better than you was last week, you got to be disciplined for 7 days. If you want to be better than you was last month, you got to be disciplined that month. If you want to be better than you was last year, you got to be disciplined that whole year. Mm-hmm. And if you be disciplined and you set yourself up and do those small little tasks, I can guarantee you're going to be better off than you was than when you decided to attain these qualities of being disciplined. Mm-hmm. And I got many principles broke down on discipline in my book. But discipline is just the key, man. Like I said, I'm 30 years old. I own multiple properties, my businesses, and got my body back in shape. And I don't even have a social media, any following of anything like that. I got a property 1 street over here behind my house that I'm finna build my bookstore on over here in 5th Ward. But
that's what that's what everything, like you say, everything comes back to how you discipline yourself and how you implement that discipline. Like for me, like I say, shit, I've been on this detox for a little minute. Well, for about a week now. Like I technically I started last year, but like
you lost 10 pounds. That's results.
But it's results. So and even in the same way, like now, like I get up and I'm ready to work. Like I'm ready to go to work. Like I'm ready to put some work in and just get whatever task that I have done. It might take some time. It might take all day, but at the same time, like I'm just like, okay, what I need to get done now? Instead of just waking up, I want to scroll on social media and just
social media is for followers and suckers, man.
And just waste my time. Just scrolling.
Yeah.
So it's just and that discipline is gonna keep you, that hunger.
It's gonna keep you hungry, man.
It's gonna keep you hungry.
It's gonna keep you focused on the vision. Like I told Katrin, we was talking before. We just hooked up all this equipment, but we was talking. I'm like, and I was talking to my cousin Daryl earlier, and I was just talking about how right now I don't have any subscriptions to cable. I don't have a gym subscription. I haven't even been driving to. I go to Emancipation Park in 3rd Ward. They got a free gym you can go in as long as you got your city ID. I go there, but some days I just run in the neighborhood because right now I'm saving all of my money. And the money, mind you, the money I get paid from is from my stocks, which I don't take out. It's from my business and from my own personal book sales. I don't have anything where I get paid from a job. So I have to take everything I make personally and reinvest it and build back on what I already have. So everything I'm making right now, I'm disciplining my finances right now to set it aside to build my bookstore. I want to bring back a luxurious bookstore back over here to 5th Ward in Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm. So, man, so
that even there, like that's encouragement too.
Yeah,
because at the same time, it's just that's what damn, I forgot where I was about to go, but in a way that encouraged me to just be more aggressive in how I look at life and like, okay, you don't need to spend this money right here.
Yeah.
You don't need to go out. You don't need to go out to this spot right now.
Because what's going, I feel like those things might validate you right now for instant gratification for today. But when the true glory, the true gratification is when you build like the Egyptians. When you build something, when you can show the world your pyramids, when I can come into an event and I say, here, my brother, this is my book. Mm-hmm. I have created value and brought it to the world and given it to you. And you can see that I did it. And then next, look, brother, this is my business. Mm-hmm. I have created this. I'm building. Look, brother, this is my store. This is my land. I'm building. So, we have been trained, like I said, by the system, by consumerism, by dollarism, even from the days of slavery, that we are instant gratification society, but that discipline eliminates that. Discipline eliminates instant gratification, and discipline reinvokes the future.
Okay, so I got a question for you.
Okay.
So like I say, like even your journey is just it's an encouragement to me. Like okay. I done read your
Appreciate
book. It. Like you let me proofread your book. Like when we was listening to it in the living room, or if you just handed me a pre-copy, and I've read that shit on my own. But like just to say the relationship that we have, like a lot of people don't know shit. We went to middle school. We went to middle school, high school together. Mm-hmm. We finally linked back up years after graduating college. Mm-hmm. So
And hold on, tell them in high school. Tell them in high school how your brothers and my brothers and everybody, we all got in fights in the streets, man. My people and them back in high school fought his people, and we was all in the streets fighting.
Yeah,
back in Kinswick, but we still see even back then, people were shooting and killing and doing things like that. I was raised in the era, man. We could fight and still be friends, and we'll never have a.
Shit, we laugh about it to this day. We talk about the shit to this day,
and we really don't. We get in the studio and we make things together. We do things together. It's not, but you got to fight with your soldiers. You got to go through training with
exactly.
them.
So
your soldiers never go through boot camp with you. When the shit hit the fan, you gonna be looking around like who got my back?
Yeah. Exactly. So that brings me to the point of like how important do you think your circle like needs to be? Because
it's extreme. I cut
because let me finish real quick.
All right.
Because like what you doing is making me better. Okay. And hopefully when I'm doing, I'm on my purpose and shit, hopefully that's encouraging you to be better.
Most definitely.
So it's just like I want to see what the fuck, like how important do you think it is to have a solid circle around you, and still, just you go on about your day to day, like.
I think it is. Well, first of all, let me open up my book. I'm gonna go to my leadership chapter, because when you live in a life as a leader, you really not gonna have a circle around you, because you are the one that's leading.
True shit.
Usually when you're a leader, especially in the black community, you don't receive a circle. Honestly, if you just a circle around you, somebody in that circle got a gun pointed at you. When I talk about my circle and how do I see the people around me, I'm going to first read the first 2 principles on leadership from my book, and then I'm going to talk about the importance of allies and friends and things like that. Number 1, never concern yourself with the opinions of others, especially when their views are parallel with the masses. Number 2, a tribe of one is better than a tribe of none. When you live life as a leader, sometimes it can be lonely because you will not follow customary beliefs. This will put you at odds with most people around you, sometimes even your own family. The goal is not to get others to be your friend or follow you, but it is to understand who you are and lead yourself. If others decide to join you, they will, but it starts with you leading yourself. So when I see, as I got older, now that I'm 30 years old, and I was fortunate to be able to start my first business at 22 years old. I started young, and I ended up being, I ain't gonna say successful where I'm at today, but I ended up having good returns on my initial investments when I was young. So I seen others take the road of either going to college and getting a job. I seen others taking the road of selling weed and being hustlers. I seen others taking the road of robbing and stealing and killing. And then I just seen others being the average 5, which is being middle class, starting a family and things like that. And what I learned about being out here, being a warrior, being a revolutionary, because a revolutionary is somebody that makes a change. That revolution means change. When you're out here making a change, even if it's with yourself, if it's in your community, if it's your diet, if it's your finances, when you make a change, people that came up with you are not going to be able to see you in that light. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be able to see you in that divine way as a changed person. They are always going to try to see you in a negative aspect and drag your name in the mud because they know you. So when I say my circle, I kind of got away from the mindset of having friends, and I got more so of the mindset of making allies, and not even making allies that I am dependent on. I just make allies that I have commonalities with. You know, people that have similar interests. You know, so if there's any time that need to be any kind of execution of a certain mission or anything like that, I have the people in place that I need. Instead of just saying, oh, you my friend, are you gonna help me? Or, oh, you my cousin, or oh, you my family. No.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah.
That's a real good way to put that, because it's just like, yeah, we cut for our family and friends, but at the end of the day, like, some of them ain't cut out for, some of them, you can't take some of them to the top with you.
Man,
you can't.
Man, listen, man. Like, K-Tron already know this story, man. Like, man, I took people in, man. Like, I had people around me, man. Let's just say I had certain people around me said, man, they couldn't get my book because, mind you, I people around me made all kind of reasons. When I started my business, I skipped over my everyday people because I got contracts with corporate companies, right? Corporate cleaning contracts. So the people around me on the everyday level, I never really needed them for assistance or a shout out, or I don't care about social media, so I don't care if you post my business and say, look, go do business with this business or anything like that, because I'm not even on those things. I don't even use my business on social media. I've strictly got contracts. I strictly work my business through contracts. It's really like we don't even got to talk about it. I just handle business, right? So, but when I wrote my book and I got on my everyday level with my peers and my family and friends and people that I know, it really brought out the character and the light that I seen them in. And my Uncle James always told me, if you want to see who your friends is, make something and sell it to them. You know what I'm saying? Because he a salesman. He worked at my grandfather's cemetery being a salesman. And he said, if you want to see who your friends is, make something and sell it to them. And I had people that was around me in my inner circle that went by my $20 book because he said he wanted to buy his equipment to make a podcast. And I thought it was just the funniest thing in the world now, because all this equipment, I got like $5,000 worth of podcast equipment, was given to me by one of my real friends, which I didn't even ask for. So I got somebody on and mind you, and this person was close in my vicinity for about 5 years. And that's why when I talk about like the whole role and the whole role of a friend in this modern, it's like the modern day wife, the modern day friend, you know what I'm saying? The modern day wife, the modern day friend in this new society that we live in, it's not the same as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? So you got to more so make allies and people that have strategic commonalities with you.
Damn, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Like even like looking at me and you.
Just having allies and just having people in position to make shit happen.
Check this out. Even with me and you, we friends. We grew up together. We've been knowing each other a long time, right? But guess what? We got strategic commonalities.
Yeah.
You're a producer. I freestyle. I get on the mic. I get this equipment. You also an audio engineer. You hook it up. So we friends. But we
bring value to each other.
We bring value to each other. We have strategic commonalities. We have similar interests. And that's how you kind of want to navigate your vision through. You can't do everything on your own, but do as much as you can on your own.
That was a great piece of advice that your uncle gave to you.
Yeah, my Uncle James. Shout out to my Uncle James Nelson Mason Dixon Howard.
Now that just made me think like, shit.
If you want to see who your friends is, my Uncle James, which has been a salesman at my grandfather's cemetery, the biggest black-owned cemetery in the United States of America. My grandfather passed away. My Uncle James told me, if you want to see who your friends are, make a product and go sell it to them, and you will see who your friends are. And when I released my book, this was before my book came out, and when I released my book cut my grass and showed me what all the snakes was at for me. And that was the most fulfilling thing for me. Even my family members and things like that, it showed me what people stood with their opinions with me.
Commonalities that ain't me.
Oh, they don't even know. They don't know about commonalities.
Shit, I'm gonna have to bounce in a little bit. What time is it now? Shit, this shit, we've been on for about a good hour, huh?
About we 54 minutes in.
Yeah, so shit.
Man, first episode, man. We gotta run this back, man. We gotta do this shit
We'll do
more,
it
man.
again. Like we'll have to do an actual introductory episode where we, we can introduce ourselves to the people. We just talk like.
Hold on, look, this business right here. Check this out. What's up, JB?
Oh, wait, never mind. I'm tripping. I got the key, huh? I forgot.
Yeah, and I need my keys back, brother.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
All right.
I forgot the key.
All right.
That's the nigga that told you to run 3 miles every day.
Nah, that's my boy Josh. That's my little Hispanic homie, my boy JB.
Okay.
He 21 years old, man, young good fella, man, trying to do some work out here. So, man, like I said, yeah, this our first episode, man. We gonna keep shooting, and it's just trial and error number 1. So, all the YouTube people out there, when I watch YouTube, what they say, subscribe and like and all that good shit.
Subscribe, like, comment.
But we're gonna loop that right there, and because we're gonna have K-Tron voice loop that subscribe, like, comment, man.
Subscribe, like, and comment.
Man, appreciate that, man. Appreciate y'all listening. If y'all listen all the way through, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be kicking.